Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. In today's video we are gonna create a responsive navigation bar with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. As you can see guys, we want to create this beautiful and practical menu which is totally responsive, and when we pass the mobile viewport, it becomes desktop. You see, this is totally responsive and you can use this in your project very easily. And now we pass viewport of the mobile and we can see our menu on desktop version. This is desktop version, and when we are going to mobile menu, mobile viewport, we can see our mobile menu popping up. Okay, all right, so let's get started with creating a new folder in our YouTube projects. So in here I'm gonna create a folder with navigation responsive. All right, I'm gonna open a new window on VS Code and drag and drop this folder. All right, in here I'm just gonna create an index file, index.html. After that, I'm going to create a style.css and a script.js. All right, and in here an exclamation mark, hit tab. Okay, let me just copy and paste the title to save some time. In here I'm gonna add my style over here, and the end of my body tag I'm gonna add my script file. So I will say script.js, and in here I'm gonna hit go live button. If you don't see this go live button, go to your extension in here and search for live server, and when you are searching, this live server extension will show and you're just gonna install it. Okay, and when you install this, you can hit go live button to see whenever you are doing in your project live. Okay guys, in here in our HTML tag, in our HTML file, I want to create a header. Okay, inside this header I'm gonna create a header with class of container. All right, and in here I'm just gonna add an a tag for our logo, so I will say class logo, and in here I'm just gonna add Navid dev. Okay, now in here we can see this. Let me zoom a little bit to see it perfectly. Okay, after that I'm just gonna add a nav with class of nav bar. All right, and in here I'm gonna say ULLIA href hashtag, and in here I'm gonna say home. Hit save. We have our home. Make a copy of this a couple of times. All right, and in here I'm gonna say portfolio and maybe blog and about, and of course contact. All right, we have our menu. All right, let me go to after nav, and in here I'm just gonna say dot menu to create. Let me go back to create a div with class of menu, and I'm gonna add an SVG in here. So I will say hero icons. I'm gonna go to hero icons, and in here I will search for menu, and I'm gonna copy this SVG and getting back in here and paste it right over here. All right. After that, after adding our SVG, you see guys, when we are gonna open this menu, let me zoom out, and when we are gonna close this menu, we need an area to cover our closing. Okay, look, if I wanna, let me go a little bit bigger in here. If I want to close my menu, whenever I click outside of my menu, I should have a div which nothing to do with our menu. Okay, so if I want to click in here and I just want to close my menu, I need a div for that. In order to do that, let me go back in here, and after our header container, inside our header dot container, okay, I'm just gonna add a dark dash part. All right, with this div we are gonna create this part, this dark part. All right, let's get me back to the style file, and in here I am just gonna add some style. I will say padding 0, margin 0, and box sizing border box. All right, after that I'm gonna add some variables. So I will say primary dash color should equal to RGB and 45, 89, and 255. Okay, I'm gonna make a copy of this, and in here I will say secondary color. In here I will say 4 and 16 and 61. Okay, after that I am gonna add some style to the body. So I will say font family should be sans serif. All right, we don't want to add a Google font because of time, so I will say RGB. Yeah, RGB maybe 218. After that 270, 237, and 255. Okay, we have a nice background. After that I'm gonna delete the text decoration of anchor. So I will say text decoration should be none, and I'm gonna add a color of secondary color. All right, after that I'm gonna say UL should be list style none. All right, after that I'm gonna grab dot container, and I will say max width 90%, and of course margin auto. Let me check. Yeah, it's okay. All right, after that I will say header background should be white, FFF. Okay, this is our header for now. And after that I'm gonna say header dot header. This time I will say dot header. These two are different, guys. This is our header and this is our div with class of header. These two are totally different. So in here I will say display should be flex, and align items should be center, justified content should be a space between. Okay, now after that I'm gonna grab, let me add some padding in here, so I will say padding 1 rem and 0. Okay, dot logo, and I'm gonna add secondary color. All right, maybe a font weight of bold, which we can see this properly. Letter spacing 1 pixel and a font size of 1.3 rem. All right, cool. After that, I'm gonna grab my menu to show our SVG. So I will say carousel pointer, and I'm gonna add a width of 33 pixel. Now we can see this, and also a height of 33 pixel and color of primary color. So I will say var primary color. Okay, let me check in here what are we gonna do about. Let me go to our inspect element. In here I set a space between, but okay, I see what's going on. It's because of this div, guys. It's because of this dark part div. All right, okay, no problem with that. Let me go far away. All right, in here I will say navbar ul, and I'm gonna add a background of white. Let me just say red for now to see what's going on. I'm gonna add a box shadow of 0015 pixel, 5 pixel, and RGB A 00000 and 0.08. all right, after that I'm gonna say position should be fixed. All right, and of course I'm gonna say bottom should be 0 and top should be 0. You see, guys, this is perfect. And also left should be 0. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? And after that I'm gonna add a padding of 2 rem from up and from top and bottom, and from right and left should be 0. Okay, now if we want to make it full width, we can say right should be 0. That's cool, isn't it? But I don't want to make it full width. I just want to say min width, min dash width should be 300 pixel. Okay, which we are gonna close this from here. All right, after that let me go for our A tag, and in here I'm just gonna make it white because this background red is totally suck. Okay, I will say navbar ULLIA, and I'm gonna add a padding of 1.2 rem and 2 rem. After that I'm gonna say font size should be 1.1 rem, and after that a letter spacing 1 pixel. All right, cool. Display should be block in order to add our padding. All right, after that I'm gonna say font weight should be bold, of course, to see this properly. And after that I'm gonna say transition all 2 second, 0.2 second acing out. All right, and I'm gonna add a hover to this, so I'm gonna copy and I will say when RLI hover, we want to add a background color of primary color to A and a color of white. What's going on? All right, yeah, cool. Okay, after that I am just gonna say dot header dot active dot navbar ul should be transform translate 0. All right, when we are gonna, let me say in this way, when we have a class of active in our header here, it means we don't want to see this mobile menu anymore. All right, and in here we just say transform translate should be 0. But why we don't have any transform translate here? Okay, in here I'm gonna say, let me check over here, in here, yeah, I'm gonna say transform translate x should be minus 100%. all right, so when we have a class of active in our header, it means that we want to see our menu. Okay, and now let me go to our script, and in here I'm gonna say const trigger menu equals to document dot query selector. I'm gonna grab dot menu, and also I'm gonna grab header equals to document. Let me make a copy of this and paste it right over here. In here I will say header, and also I'm gonna say close equal to this one again, but this time I want to say dark dash part. Okay, we don't have our dark part yet, but we are gonna create it in a bit. All right, in here I will say trigger menu dot add event listener. When we are click on this, throw an arrow function to do some job for us. Okay, I will say header dot class list dot add which class of active, which we are created. All right, now if I click over here, see we have this, but it didn't close and it didn't show with a smooth transaction or transition. All right, so let's getting back in here, and in here I'm just gonna add a transition of transform maybe 0.3 second and async out. All right, let me check it out again. So if I click over here, we can see our menu, see, but we cannot close it yet, but I'm gonna create it right over here. I'm just gonna say dark dash part. All right, I will say position should be fixed, and after that I am just gonna say inset should be 0. all right, and a background of RGBA and 0.5. okay, now we see it in here. I will say Z index should be 1, and in here for our UL I will say Z index should be 2, because we want to see our menu, we want to be able to see it. Okay, and after that I'm gonna say when we are click in here in our dark part, this menu should be closed. Okay, so let's getting back in here, I'm gonna make a copy of this, and just when we are clicking on close, this way should be remove. All right, but guys, see, we don't see our menu, but we should delete, or we should get rid of this dark part. All right, so in here, after that, I'm gonna say header.active. When our header.active was active, in normal way, in here I'm gonna say opacity should be 0 and pointer event should be none, because I don't want to see this anymore. All right, let me check. But when our header.active, when we have a class of active in our header, opacity should be 1 and pointer event should be auto. All right, see, but let me check, it's not working. Why? We set close.event listener header class list remove. Let me getting back in here and check if we did something wrong. Let me, no, it should work. Dark part, let me getting back. Dark part, yeah, I misspelled in here. All right, see guys, our menu just worked perfectly and we have all the thing we need. But when if we want to add a transition in here, I can say transition opacity 0.2 second and async out, or async, yeah, it's better, I guess. Yeah, it's so smooth and perfect. But let me make it bigger, and you see we don't have our desktop menu yet. So let's getting back to our code and do the job. All right guys, after that it's time to add our media screen. So in here I will say add some media screen and min width, min dash width, when our viewport was bigger than 768 pixel, we have to do something. Let me check if it's work correctly. So I will say body background color should be an ugly red. So you see, when we are passing 768 pixel, our body background will be red. You see, then this is working perfectly. So after that, I'm gonna say dot menu display none. All right, I don't want this anymore in bigger screen. You see, perfect. Well, after that, I'm gonna say navbar ul. All right, I'm gonna say box shadow equals to none. I don't need a box shadow, and position should be maybe a static for now, and of course min width should be auto. All right, and I'm gonna say padding should be 0 and display should be flex. After that, I'm gonna say transform translate 0. All right, let me check if we, yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is great guys, and so far we are doing great. After that, I am just gonna say dot navbar ullia. I'm gonna say padding, I'm gonna make our padding a little bit less, so I will say padding 0.7 rem and 1.5 rem. All right, and after that I am just gonna check it out again. So see guys, if I make it bigger in here, you see we have our dark part. So after that I will say dot dark part display none in bigger screen. I don't need it anymore. All right, check it again. Yeah, it's great. And our menu and our desktop menu work perfectly. All right guys, I guess we are done with this project. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you like my video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. See you on another video.